Hello, YouTube. This is another episode analyzing the catches done by Chris Hansen's YouTube series, Hansen vs. Predator. Uh, if you're watching this, it's most likely the beginning of the new year. If you had a great 2020, well, fuck you. Yeah, this is gonna be the new 2021, and I'm excited going to be doing some more of these and hopefully we can establish something here. So today is Joshua Cologne. Now, the way I've been pacing out these videos or choosing which ones to handle is almost based on some kind of like depravity, like the first few ones, like especially the Jesse Velez ones, which is even though they're all, I mean, being a predator in itself is fucked up. So, but to be able to see a lot more just deviancy along the way, I wanted to ease in. This is the first one where it just becomes very, very sickening. A lot of perversion. And for Joshua Cologne, this being, unlike someone like maybe Dupay, for example, who I think just wanted any attention, and the fact that it was a minor was not a bother to him, which is wrong, but I'm if you watch the last episode, I'm not defending him, but and yeah, and Velez was just kind of like more of a horny dumbass than anything else, in my opinion. But here we're gonna see that for Joshua Cologne, being a predator was basically a lifestyle for this guy. So buckle up, guys. This is a doozy.
Joshua Cologne was a 26-year-old plumber from New York when he surfaced in our Fairfield, Connecticut investigation. He brought an overnight bag and dinner for one. He wanted to have sex with a 12-year-old girl. What he got was a date with me.
So first of all, I don't know how you get nervous Nelly being a 12-year-old. Like I understand. Like like I remember for the past few years now, I am just being horrible with distinguishing between what's a 12-year-old and what's a 9-year-old sometimes. But I 12 years old for this one. 15, 16. You can't do 16 because it's illegal in that state, but 15. But to think this is a 12-year-old, like, what if these guys are so horny that they need to, okay. But door's locked. Let me open that for you.
Hi, Papi. Come on in.
So the first indicator on this guy, so he has her call him Papi. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Papi is the equivalent of daddy in Spanish, but I can't because I was thinking before this video how to kind of explain it for non-Latin speakers. I feel like daddy is a lot more like it's kind of more based on like I'd say cuteness kind of endearment to they're both dominant positions, like the person saying it is kind of already putting themselves below status wise, but it's kind of cute. While with Papi, it's definitely a lot more like um like maybe Latin is considered one of the love languages. It's a lot more driven sexually. So first of all, knowing that he likes to be called Papi is not a good first impression, and we're gonna see more.
Hello. Oh, did you get here okay though? Were the roads bad?
It's really
Look what I made you.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Those are red velvet?
Yeah. Do you like them?
Yeah, I think nice.
Well, do you want to try
my
them?
picture? Yeah.
What'd you bring me?
I brought dinner for myself.
Oh.
Sorry. Because I
Okay, so I mentioned this in the last episode, and I'm gonna mention it here. Uh, so there's this idea of the fact that I find interesting, especially more with Dupay. This point of just the fact that when these guys they're talking to these minors and everything like that, um, there's this almost delusion. Of course, the fact that like, because she again, like I think I said this in the last episode. I don't. Let's say she's 12. I don't know how to call her attractive. Clearly, she's not. So I can straight up just say she's attractive. But these people are talking to attractive women, and there's this delusion, first of all, that yeah, sure, they're just willing and ready to, give it up on meeting number one. But it's also the fact that they really realize they have to actually, spit game, flirt, and they're just really bad at it. And
I didn't
so
get to.
this guy right here, I just love the idiocy that of, because
Do you want to try it?
she asks, "What did you bring me?"
Yeah.
Right?
What'd you bring me?
I didn't bring.
And he mentions that no, yeah, I brought food for myself, and
Well,
she goes,
dinner for myself.
Oh.
Sorry. Because I
that's her not even acting. That's her reacting as a woman, as legitimately a woman who, if that's the thing. Like, if this was actually even taking away the minor part, an actual date, to what idiot would bring food for himself and just yeah, like, I'll just eat while the girl just waits, And it's both also a combination of fact that like that's a real douche thing to do. And based on the fact he also wants to call her Papi, it's kind of obvious. This dude's a fucking douche. He's an asshole. Like no wonder you have these problems where you have to go for my because you're a dick. Like that, you don't do that. You don't do that when you're going meet up with a person.
I
So
didn't get to.
that's just
I didn't get
hilarious.
to finish my dinner.
Oh, that's
Because I was
okay.
kind of in a rush.
You can finish. I had stuff earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then we can have
It's fine. I can grab
cupcakes.
you something whenever. It doesn't matter.
It's okay.
No, that's it. I mean, even if it was
Thanks.
real, like no, that's not that's a completely. He's saying like, yeah, I guess I could have gotten you something. Or I could get you something. She's like, all right. I mean, again, if this was real too, like, no, the impression's been made. Your immediate behavior is not in regard to the person that you're visiting in their house. So like, doesn't matter if you give out the sentiment. Oh, I do it. You could have done it and you didn't. So I just find it very funny, like observing the predator sometimes in the fact that like how are they actually also spitting game, like
I was like this. Mind if I use the bathroom because I was way holding for so long.
Yeah, it's right here.
Kind of, you look hotter than the picture.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm really nervous. Yeah,
oh
right
my
there.
god. So he comments on her
No, here.
appearance, which is pretty awkward for her, and you saw her in the last episode. She wore the hoodie, the pants, and everything like that. Here, she's kind of I don't know, not even like I don't want to sound like I'm slut shaving or like being, but like I mean, she's slightly revealing her
I was
skirt with
way
the
holding for
legs
so
and everything
long.
like
Yeah,
that.
it's right here.
The
Kind of, you look
sleeves
hotter
and
than the
everything.
picture.
Like that's fine. You can dress like that, but
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
sure
sorry, I'm really
she's like,
nervous. Yeah,
okay,
right
I'm not
there.
dressing like that again.
No, here, this one.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah, don't go
I
to
know,
the
it's
garage,
little.
please. We need another 20 minutes.
Old fashioned bath.
Yep.
All right, so now she was gonna dip. It's kind of unfortunate we don't get to really see the decoy and this predator because I really want to see him acting all cocky, him thinking that like even if he was like this super Chad, like you don't treat women like that. Make them call you Papi and just like bringing. Maybe I'm harping too much on the food part, but that's just really random. All right, so let's let's switch. Chris is getting ready.
Is there a light switch in here? Oh, it's behind here, is that it?
Come on out, Joshua.
Oh,
Look at the seat. Right over there, please.
Oh shit, it's the thing he didn't get to do. Poor guy. Predator, but damn, wanted to use the washroom.
Right over there. Keep your hands right there. See.
I know who you are.
I know who
You
you
know who
are.
I am.
So he reacts, oh, like like shit, like because he knows who he is, recognizes him.
Who am I?
I seen this on a show.
What show?
It's the show about men meeting young girls.
Men meeting young girls. Do you have keys in your pocket?
Yes.
Will you take them out, please?
Pretty awkward.
It turns off the alarm.
No,
Why
just
did they
press-
keep that in? They keep it. Kept that in for whatever reason. All
So
right,
you've seen my shows before.
Yeah.
How often?
all right. So let's actually reflect on that then. I find it messed up. Like I'm thinking in my head, the fact that if I had never watched all of these Predator videos, like I would never hook up with an underage person, right? But watching these videos and watching um other channels, like it helps me understand the scope. Like I understand, for example, that obviously I've always understood what being molested is, but sometimes the way I picture it, way I used to picture underage sex and that kind of rape is the forcefulness or the manipulation and the power dynamics, but really introducing the fact of the idea of a minor who just straight up wants sex and then they would want it from someone older. Like it really highlight they stuff like that really helps highlight that's still predatory, that's still wrong, and it should not be done. And for someone like him now, who actually watched for who knows how long, up to the point that he even recognizes Chris Hansen. Like, it's so weird to think that like there was a time when he wasn't a predator, that he'd watch people get caught and both not understand, oh damn, that's a real danger for predators. I mean, I'm not like good thing for them. It's like a real risk for predators is they can really easily get caught, get undercover. But then also the fact of, yeah, just like, I mean, the show, I mean, it's not really a show that preaches, but it's still a show that was able to communicate this phenomena of what predators do and what they can do to children, minors. And he went ahead and made that his life.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We're starting up again,
Okay.
and you are among our first guests.
Okay.
What's your name?
Joshua.
Joshua. Joshua what?
Cologne.
Cologne. And how old are you?
I'm 32.
32.
He's 30. John Dupay claims he's 30. This guy's 32. That's a real I don't know. Just a throwaway comment, but the fact John Dupay actually thought you could pass as 30, and this guy's actually 32.
And how did you meet this Jenna Claire?
I was on a app
Yeah.
called Link.
And why did you think it was appropriate to talk to a girl who said she was 12 years old?
I don't know why.
12?
I know. It was wrong.
What did you bring with you tonight?
Huh?
What did you bring with you tonight?
Clothes.
Clothes. Why would you need a change of clothes?
Because I was going to stay over.
Stay over with a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And what were you going to do with this girl?
And here we go.
What do you mean you don't know?
Guess, I guess have sex.
Have sex.
There we go. He actually admits it. He was here to have sex with her. Actually admits it. Um, not oh, I was just here, to hang out, or like, yeah, I just came to tell her not to do something like this, not none of this bullshit lies that predators go. He straight up admits it. And throughout the small interaction which I let play out, he's kind of a little I think at first embarrassed, but I think there's some shame in the way he responds to things, and really realizing things he said, especially when Chris Hansen will start reading from the chat and things like that. So he admits it. He was here to have sex with her,
Yeah.
Now you had
and Chris has asked things like, "Why do you think it was all right?" And he's just like, "No, but yeah, it's not." Like, I don't think he's not saying it in a way where he's saying it so that he's saying what Chris wants to hear. I think he's legitimately just like, yeah, this is wrong, but we'll keep
quite the
going.
chat with this girl. It's too bad you aren't old enough. I would marry you. You would marry a 12-year-old girl
If she was old enough.
if she was old enough. But why would you even say that to a 12-year-old?
Yeah.
Do you have any?
Okay, and here's why. So, um, I'm gonna save some things But this guy, like, as I've mentioned, he made it into a lifestyle being a predator. So I think that should capture enough people's attention. But I don't want to spoil it all at once. But okay, this guy actually is able to more better than someone like Velez or Dupay get into the manipulation of what being a predator is. Actually, being a predator, um, something like that. For example, saying "I would marry you" is is preying upon the fact that the 12-year-old would would not recognize the the fact that she shouldn't be in this dynamic with this older person, and hoping that the 12-year-old like, oh my god, he's already willing to marry me, like understanding what commitment is, probably thinking about the people she knows right now and like how hard it is to like even start a relationship. And this guy cares about me so much, he would marry me. Like that's the game he's trying to fucking play. And that's there we go. That's the predatory aspect of all this. Um that's what they do. They make the girls feel special, and they don't care about them, like. And the girl, and that's how minors are. They're more malleable to that. So
Nieces and nephews, younger cousins?
Yeah.
Okay. What if a guy was hitting on them like this?
Yeah, I wouldn't like it.
You wouldn't like it. So explain to me what was going on in your mind that made you think it was okay to come here and do the very same thing.
I don't want to say anymore.
Well,
because there's a sickness to it. So unfortunately, I mean, at least we get to the point now where with this predator, he's admitting that he would want to do that. Unlike with someone like Velez, who, you just, I mean, you don't really understand that much. You just can almost just laugh at the fool. But here, I mean, we at least get that. But he's also so quiet. He's so he doesn't want to share, because what he would share is a sickness, and he recognizes, based on his body language, based on how he looks down every time he's confronted with his perversion. He understands that, like, to answer would be to reveal a sickness that he has.
you pretty much already said it. You asked for her address. I'll pick you up somewhere and we'll have sex if you want. I'll go slow, and yes, it will.
And yeah,
you pretty
that's
much already said it. You asked for her address. I'll pick you up
doesn't
somewhere
want to
and
hear
we'll have
this. He
sex
doesn't
if you
want to
want.
be
I'll go
confronted with
slow,
that
and
side of
yes, it
him.
will hurt because she's a virgin, he said.
And sorry, I talked over that, but
You
yeah,
asked for
like
her address.
here's the sexual talk.
I'll pick you up somewhere and we'll have sex if you want. I'll go slow, and yes, it will hurt because she's a virgin, he said. This is all you, right? You tell her to masturbate in preparation for your big night of sex with a virgin. Did you bring
I don't, I never understood that part, but that was awkward, especially for him to see to see the decoy, and then the decoy like just really quickly, not even trying to look at the person, just grab those keys.
condoms?
Yes.
Where are they?
In my bag.
What else
Ask,
is in the bag?
ask if he brought condoms.
Clothes and toothbrush, stuff like that.
That's it.
That's it. That's all you're gonna find.
Yeah, well, we'll finally make out and make love. I was thinking of staying over and leaving the next morning. So when I come over, we'll go to your room and you'll take off all your clothes.
Oh,
Since
man.
I'm the boss.
Since I'm the boss.
Why did you have her call you Papi?
So there's definitely some insecurity there, because it needs to be a thing. He needs to be like upper status. He needs to be a Chad. He needs to be Papi. He needs to be the boss. He needs to fucking come in, eat his food at her place, eat her cupcakes, and then fucking, like that's him. Like, obvious. I think it's more. I'm not too, because again, I can't really comment because I don't know the guy, but like, it's a thing where it could be the fact that he deep down is living this sickness and is ashamed of it. But we also saw the side where like there's also this bravado where he loves being able to be Papi, and having uh even though they're minors flock to him with sexual prowess. Like,
I don't want to say anymore.
What is Papi?
Latin thing.
Nickname.
Yeah.
You wanted her to call you the boss. And then you say, I just hope your mom doesn't find out about me because I could get in serious trouble, you know, right? I could go to jail. I know love knows no age, but most people don't think the same. 12, Joshua.
I know, I messed up.
Have you done this before?
No.
Have you ever contacted an underage girl online before?
Yes.
Yes.
We have evidence of that too. A 13-year-old. So why should I believe you've never done this before?
It is the first of me
You just woke
taking
up-
a chance.
You woke up a few weeks ago and said, I'm going to chat up this girl and drive from your home where?
New York
In Brooklyn,
and Queens.
Queens. You said Brooklyn. Or do you work in Brooklyn?
I work in Brooklyn.
Okay. And you live in Queens.
Yes.
And what do you do for work in Brooklyn?
I'm a plumber.
A plumber. Good job.
Yeah.
Good pay.
It's alright.
Why would you toss it away for this?
I don't know.
What do you want people to know about all this?
Really nothing.
Nothing.
So yeah, like there we go. Like there's Chris is being good. He's asking the right questions. He's not being too aggressive. He knows when to kind of pull back a little bit and then come back right in. Like, because again, he's said it. I believe this would be it would have been 2 times now. Where he's like, look, I don't want to talk anymore, right? And like obviously Chris isn't a police officer where, like he's invoking his right to silence, his right for an attorney and all that. Like they're just having. I mean, it's up to him. He just needs to walk away and leave. Of course, he'll get arrested, but he doesn't know that. But he just needs to walk away and leave. That's his way of saying, because he has no obligation. And so he can keep going. But this guy, he's just being quiet. Like, well, it's a combination of, I think, the shame and just not wanting to divulge like his actual what's inside, which is very, very ugly.
What do you think should happen to you?
I guess I have no choice but to go to jail.
Do you deserve it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, can't you explain to me?
And I wonder if it's also because I've seen a few times of him just being a very submissive person, which could be true, which is why he's also overcompensating with the Papi and the boss thing, and it's just weird to see. I guess it's also the biggest combination of him knowing that Hansen, who he is and what he does, where he's just like, yeah, I should, because probably just wants us to finish too, but also won't walk away. But Chris is just like, what the, come on, dude, say something.
What brought you here tonight?
Like, what brought you here tonight? And no, it's just still being silent. And Chris is just like,
it's not right.
what the fuck?
It is not right. I know.
But help me to understand it.
I don't know. I don't know what was going through
They're
my
literally
mind.
like he's mirroring his emotions.
not
Just
right.
the little shrug with the closing of the eyes.
It is not right. I know.
But help me to understand it.
Same,
I don't
yeah.
know what was going through my mind.
You don't know.
No.
I mean, this is your chance to explain yourself.
There's no way I'm getting out of this anyway, so I'm not gonna say anymore.
You shave down there. I like it smooth.
Uh,
You say you're going to groom yourself for this special event tonight. That's your car, right?
Yeah. I share that car.
You share that car with whom?
My brother.
Your brother. You have a twin brother?
Yes, I do.
What would he think about this?
He wouldn't be happy.
that twin brothers like dyed his hair just to make sure like people. It's like I'm not the predator one. I'm the carpenter. He's the plumber predator. Like that's such a weird, it's such a weird dynamic to have a twin brother who's a predator.
All your family in Queens?
No, my mom died, and my father lives in Manhattan.
Which is unfortunate.
Well, Joshua, I don't know what else to say to you.
Right.
Except that
Yeah.
I'm Chris Hansen.
Yeah, he's repeated things. I mean, at this point, like, he's just not gonna talk, so let's end this.
And this is an investigation called Hansen versus Predator.
Excuse me.
So if there's anything else you want people to know, Now is the time.
Doesn't even flinch.
No.
You're free to leave.
Can I use the bathroom? Because I've been holding it for quite some time.
I think you should go.
Okay.
So after this, his last real concern almost is, can I use the washroom? Um, so we don't have that much activity in his channel yet, but anyone who does watch, I want you guys to comment. What do you think? Do you think he's actually ashamed? Do you think he's just going along with the script and just wants to get out of there? Does it look like he actually showed shame in this? Because that's a huge thing. So there we go.
Behind your back. Come right over here.
Let's his
Yeah,
fucking
behind your
phone
back,
just
sir.
get destroyed.
Stay right there.
We're gonna skip this because the interrogation is really
And then tell them.
insightful.
Right
So
now,
we actually are gonna skip until we can get to that
comfortable, have a
interrogation.
seat. How are they downstairs?
So they brought his food that he was eating at the house, or that he wanted to eat at the house. So
Don't wait on us. We've already eaten dinner, so we're good to go. You're the hungry guy. Okay, so obviously you know that we want to understand a little bit about what brought you to Fairfield, Connecticut.
so let's talk a little bit about the interrogations because that's something that this one is so much more in depth than the other ones where um both with Velez and Dupé especially, it's a lot of just like um so why were you here? Oh, I was here because I went to a house I shouldn't have gone to. Things like that, you know, where it's like, no, we know why you know what the fuck is going on. But you know, a lot of this is disguised kind of as, you know, like, hi, what's your name? What's your age? Okay, let's get some facts about what happened here when this is the this is the stuff that gets put into court that decides sentencing and you know the judge sees and everything and they're going to be questioning him now and credit to her although it's almost she should be the one that has a TV show because she gets more out of him than Chris. She's a more interrogative and we get to see that side of come on let's get this out we need to find out a lot about this predator so we can present something later on.
Tonight, so we're hoping you can explain that to us.
To meet a young girl.
Pardon me?
To meet a young girl.
Okay.
So-
How young? What's her name? How did
Again, a little more honesty at least, but um, but essentially still telling the truth, not deflecting like I mentioned earlier.
you
So
meet her?
12.
She told you she was 12?
Yes.
Okay.
so I think
To meet a
the
young
detective's gonna figure out what kind of interview
Okay.
this is
How
gonna be.
young? What's her name? How did you meet her?
12.
Like she asks multiple questions and he answers by one. So
She told you she was 12?
he's not. This guy's gonna be fucking like a wall. Like it's almost like like a shitty Facebook conversation where you say multiple things and the person responds to one of them and you're like, oh fuck, now I gotta type out the other thing I wrote out and eventually figuring out okay, you just talk about one thing with this person.
Yes.
Okay. Just tell us a little bit about, as early as you remember, your first conversations and kind of how your relationship with her developed from that first contact.
So not to play detective or not to um because she does a good job but this is the point now especially based on this answer the questions you should be asking now should be much more direct yes and no's because he doesn't want to talk he's not going to be giving details he can't even answer a multi-part question so this his response is going to be
I don't have to answer these questions, right?
You don't.
I mean,
and so yeah like lawyer uptime I don't have to answer these questions he gets all this but strangely enough, we get the results of this interrogation, which let's just play now.
I'm answering these questions is going to incriminate myself, obviously, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I told you before that it's gonna. allow us to understand your side of the story.
And we can't predict what you're going to say, so could you potentially say something that's incriminating? Of course. Could you also say something that maybe explains things? Of course. But without being in your mind knowing what you're going to
So
say.
unless he's lying, because I mean he knows he's also not lying. I mean there's no explaining. There's no, like the only thing he can really do is just waste your time by lying, and he could have done that, which is fair too. But he's not in it to lie about it. But yeah, like could the things I say and these things are gonna incriminate me, and they're just like, well, I don't know. Yes, it is. But thankfully he'll keep talking now.
Say. I don't want you to feel like I'm trying
It's
to
just
trick
like,
you because you're
I
not.
don't
We don't know
know.
what you're going to say.
No, I mean, just
To be fair.
to be quite honest, I mean, I was on the site. It was
To be quite
a
honest.
young girl, and I came to meet her. I mean, that's all I can say.
Okay. And you asked her how old she was?
Yeah.
And what did she tell you?
So 12.
Okay, did she tell you when she was turning 13?
I don't remember.
Okay. And is 12 an age that you're comfortable with? That's your preference, or?
I date older, younger. I mean, not younger than 12, but
There's a slip there. I date older, younger. No, okay, not younger. I mean, he said it. He dates younger. Like, fucking hell, man. Yeah, you admit it.
12 and up.
Okay.
12 and up, so very coincidental. That's a thing that, especially in predator poachers, they've asked often is, when they come and meet at the person their age is. Because I don't know what it is with predators. I mean, like they'll be saying something like, oh, like for example, Alex will ask someone who's there to meet a 14-year-old, like, what's wrong with a 15-year-old? What's wrong with a 16-year-old? Okay, what about a 12-year-old? No. Say, oh, so what's the difference between 12 and a 14-year-old? Which is completely, which is true. There's no difference. They're both minors. And like for here, like he's straight up admits that he's fine with younger. Oh god, these predators, man.
You're how old?
32.
You're 32? Okay. At what point does it become like a sexual conversation? And how does that happen?
I don't know. I mean, it just came up, I guess. I guess because it was on my mind, but
Has she sent you pictures
Let's raise the
of
volume a little
yourself?
yeah,
And had you sent pictures of yourself?
I guess I don't remember.
Okay. Would you say that you were sexually attracted to her
Yeah.
right off the bat, or was it something that developed over conversation, or
I guess the whole conversation.
when was the last time you maybe spoke with somebody who was in that age group, 12, 13?
It's been a while.
That's a while.
I
You know, go ahead.
No, I mean, I talked, but I never actually went to meet them because I was always afraid.
Of what?
Wow, like that, and that's okay. So this is the first like real insightful thing from him that, which is the things I hate about these people. It's just they never they even the ones that are kind of like look. He says I don't want to go because I don't want to get caught. Like no, you don't want to go because it's wrong, and they don't get that. Like this is themselves actually speaking. This is, like to him it's just like yeah, like I shouldn't do it because the law should not be the only deterrent for not engaging in this behavior. It should not, and a lot of these people they reveal that, and that's the most that's basically the incriminating thing. It's just as bad as the nudes and the manipulation is the admittance that like there's nothing holding them back except the fact that it's against the law. If you don't want to smoke weed, or if you want to smoke weed, like breaking the law, like being the only thing, then fine. If you do break the law for it, like okay, like but like for this to be the fucking society and laws, like god damn it, man.
To be like on that guy's show.
That's what you were afraid of?
Can't say that I blame you.
I saw his face immediately. And no,
Good cops, good cop routine.
I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Kind of reminds me of that Chris Watts interview where he could crack a joke and the interviewer's like, Good. Keep talking. Keep talking.
What was your intention? What do you envision yourself doing right now
This
if
is a
that
good
hadn't
question.
happened?
This is a good
I
question.
don't know, just gonna hang out, I guess have sex.
There you go again.
Your intention was to have sex with her?
Yeah,
Okay. Did you tell her you loved her?
yes.
Why?
I don't know, I guess to kind of, like, I don't know, kind of pull her in, I guess, or something.
To pull her in?
I guess,
Let's play that again.
I don't know, I guess to
Let me
kind
see if
of,
I can. Yeah, that's max.
like, I don't know, kind of pull her in, I guess, or something.
To pull her in?
I guess.
Yeah, which is what the whole marrying thing. I would marry you. Him telling her I love you to pull her in. That's fucking predator. Like legitimate fucking predator, right there. You know, like. Ah.
The 12-year-old today said
Yeah.
that she was a virgin,
Yeah,
and you liked that she didn't have experience.
yeah.
During the police interrogation, Cologne
And this is what I wanted to keep from spoiling. Here we go. Here's the big one.
appears to come clean, and then he makes a startling admission about a previous rendezvous with a 15-year-old boy.
Oh.
I want to make sure that we have everything out on the table.
I mean, I did have sexual relations with someone older than 12,
How old?
15.
Okay, so first of all, here we go with the confliction of what this guy is. He did not need to volunteer that. You know, like, probably won't come out. That probably would not have come out. You know, it's very cut and dry in some ways, this whole thing. Like, you know, like they. Maybe if this was on this something that could be searchable, like, that'd be. But, like, he didn't need to admit that. He's talking about how, oh, will this be used against me? Is this will incriminate me? And then there he goes, not only incriminating himself, but confessing. He's being all honest. And like I said, I think in some ways it was kind of, if it's not the shameful part, it's the whole I just want to get this over with. I'll just be honest, and but like that's something he volunteered himself. So I think he just wanted to just fucking confess and just like face the consequences. He probably I think that with that narrative, he's probably definitely ashamed of all that, and he just wanted to finally just state up, yeah, I had sexual relations with someone else.
When was that?
A few months back.
Okay. And where did that happen?
That was like, I think it was about Long Island.
And was it a similar situation, Stephen, like this, like we had met over the internet and
Steven.
Yeah.
or Josh?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember her name?
It's not a her.
Okay. Do you remember his name?
Dave.
David?
Wow, so this fucking piece of shit did ruin someone's life. What the fuck, man? Like, that's insane.
Meet with David one time or more than one time?
Anytime.
One time.
And what happened when you met with him?
One time, probably because he got to have his little fucking perverted act and then leave, get out the fucking. What a fucking dick.
Yeah, it's sex.
Is there anybody else?
No, that's it.
One too many.
Okay, so your phone, are there any pictures or images or videos of younger people?
Yes.
Kind of give me an idea of what we're going to be looking at. Boys, girls, about what age?
Both.
Well,
Boys and girls?
Yep.
And what age group?
I guess about 12 around there.
Okay.
12, 12 and up.
12 and older?
Like older.
Handcuffs.
I have.
Let's do it.
Cologne pleaded guilty. He received a 7-year suspended sentence. He served 3 years in prison and is about to be paroled any day now. He's got to register as a sex offender for 10 years.
So that's Joshua Cologne. Very messed up individual, and too light of a sentence, in my opinion. Especially because he actually admitted to it happening. So, all right, well, we'll be going on a bit more and more. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys have a good 2021. Thank you very much. Take care.